A million view video can still leave you broke, and that's actually what happened to somebody in my community because he was thinking like a content creator instead of a contentpreneur. So you see, this gentleman, he actually exceeded a million views. He had a video go viral and he got over 3 million views, but it did not increase his influence, impact, or income. Why is that? Well, because of one of three reasons. So, for one, it was a YouTube short. For two, it was broad content. And then for three, he rented the attention instead of owning the actual attention. And these three things right here is the main thing that's holding so many people back from building a true business around their purpose and the lifestyle that they desire to truly build their income, impact, and influence online. Because so many people think that this is the goal right here. When there's a lot of creators that are out here really broke because they're maximizing for attention, but they're getting the wrong attention. So, whereas the successful people that are really monetizing micro niche YouTube channels, they grow a micro niche audience around a painful problem that they solve within the marketplace. And then they monetize that audience by offering a solution to that painful problem that those people are going through with some type of digital product or something like that. So, for one, the YouTube short, the reason why this doesn't work and why I highly advise against this. And this is as somebody who's built social media audiences to over 100,000 followers. I built the Instagram page to over 120 something thousand followers when I quit that a couple years ago. I built the TikTok page of 14 or 15,000 followers or something like that. And even though I no longer make YouTube shorts, I've made thousands of YouTube shorts. I deleted them all off of my channel. Why is that? It's because of the mind frame behind somebody that's watching this. So I'll prove this to you right now. I bet you can't remember the last YouTube short that you watched, but you can probably remember the last long form YouTube video that you watched. Why is that? That's because of the mindset behind somebody that is consuming YouTube shorts. So, short form content, just in general, for one, everybody that's consuming it, it's turning them into much brain dummies out there because their dopamine receptors are fried. And this is really why most people can't actually focus. But for two, think about what people are doing when they're just mindlessly scrolling YouTube shorts. They're not actively making a decision to watch something. They're just getting served random stuff in front of their face and then they're just swiping through it. So, whereas when somebody makes a long form piece of content, they actually make the decision to watch something. So they make an active decision that I want to see what this video is about. And if we are looking to properly monetize with some type of online offer, digital product, community, whatever it is, well, these people are searching and looking for the solutions to their problems, and people are buying informational, transformational offers online. So, for one, you get the wrong mindset of somebody, and you get somebody when they're just passing, scrolling the time while they're sitting on the toilet. And if that's you, wash your hands. Or it's somebody that's just sitting there scrolling their phone while they're passing the time while they're waiting in line at the grocery store or something like that. They're not actually focused. And there's been a study that was done by Google that said on average it takes somebody around 7 hours of consuming content from somebody in order to make a purchasing decision. Well, if you only focus on long form YouTube content, you can get those 7 hours in pretty quickly, actually. But with shorts, you're going to have to spend a lot of time making a lot of shorts. And if somebody does discover you from a YouTube short, typically how somebody discovers you, they want more of that from you. And audience does not travel. I know this for years. Like I said, I built social media audiences to over 100,000 followers. For years, I had a podcast on this YouTube channel that nobody was listening to. Guess what I realized? Everybody that I was trying to tell from Instagram and TikTok, hey, come over to YouTube, listen to my podcast. Hey, check out my YouTube channel. They weren't migrating over because they're in the mindset to just consume short form, dummy, mushy brain content. Same exact thing on YouTube Shorts. When somebody's consuming YouTube Shorts, they're not in the mind frame to watch something long form. And then, even if they do click over and check out your page or check out a video that you might have linked on the short, since they're not in that mindset to consume something long form, they're probably going to click off of that video quickly, which is going to hurt your average view duration or your watch time on your long form YouTube content as well. And people just don't buy from shorts. Think about it. Think of all the short stuff that you've watched. You've never bought anything from that. You've never signed up from anybody's email list from a YouTube short. And typically, when something goes viral, it's broad. So you don't want to make broad content. What you want to do is that you want to go deep with the viewer. You want to hit specific pain points for a specific person so you can build an audience of those specific people, then offer your specific solution to those specific people. You see, in order to build a successful online business for yourself within your purpose and live the lifestyle that you desire, this is what it comes down to. And it took me a while to figure this out. But as soon as I did, I made over 7 figures online in my business. The answer is not more. You typically can do more with less. So this individual in my community, he actually has a offer to where he is helping stylists, beauticians, barbers acquire the skill of micro scalp pigmentation, basically tattooing hairlines on people to help them increase the amount of revenue that they're making with their current clientele, right? Another service that they can offer to the marketplace. But instead of focusing on making content around how that beautician or that barber, that stylist can increase not only their customer base, but the average amount per customer of that base, he was just making stuff that he was thinking was going to get a lot of views. And when this video right here went viral on YouTube Shorts, guess what it was? It was none of his client base. It was a bunch of people that was making fun of somebody sitting in a chair getting his hair tattooed on. Right? But he got that instant dopamine hit. He got that feel goodness of it by like, oh man, this is getting a lot of views. And then I checked out the video and I was like, let's just watch this. Let's just see if you get any leads from this from your lead magnet. Let's see if you get any conversions for sales from that lead magnet. Zero happened. Absolutely nothing. And then out of all these people, nobody transferred over to his long form YouTube content where he's actually adding value to the people that he is actually targeting and wants to reach, right? So a lot of times when you're making broad content, you're trying to just get in front of as many people as possible instead of thinking offer first and what is your offer, and let me craft all of my content around that actual offer so I get in front of the right people, and then let's make sure that I funnel that traffic into something that I own instead of something that is rented. So think about this platform, this algorithm on YouTube, we don't own the platform, but it's all rented attention. So if you mess around and you have something that goes viral, but you don't have any CTA funneling that traffic into something that you own, or a true digital asset that you own, well, then you're just building on rented land. So he had this whole massive wave of attention, but he didn't capture any of that attention into anything that he owns. That's the key right there. So what we want to do is that we want to look at our micro niche YouTube channel like it is a true digital asset, because it is. Because if you only focus on long form content, you start to build a catalog of assets. And I truly do call these assets because I don't even have the biggest YouTube channel yet, but on a monthly basis, I get paid more just from the viewership and AdSense of my small YouTube channel than a few rental properties. A lot of people don't know, and I have a background in real estate too. People that own real estate and rentals and stuff like that, they're not making that much money. Positive cash flow, what they think is a good rental, if you're making like 400 or 500 bucks per door, they're like, oh wow, you're killing it. But nobody talks about like if the AC goes out, that's your entire year's profit down the drain. But once you have a monetized channel, which is not the goal, but it's always nice to just have a little cherry on top for some stuff that you're already going to be doing. You have all these little digital assets working for you 24/7, 365, nonstop, right? But all of these are all going to be driving traffic to something that you actually own, to some type of lead magnet, to an email list, to a low ticket digital product to where you can get a paid customer into your ecosystem and send them through an ascension ladder, to a community, whether it's free or paid. You want to drive this traffic to something that you own to whereas not only will this side of your channel be compounding over time, but your actual business and your offering, what you actually own, to be compounding as well. And you just start to have this like monster tidal wave effect start to happen to whereas everything is just compounding and just growing on top of each other. But a lot of this stuff happens from having an actual focused plan of action. And focus stands for follow one course until successful and stop reaching and stop chasing and stop thinking that this is the answer. And since so many people are not able to focus or follow that one course until successful, they're trying to do whatever possible to get all these vanity metrics. And typically, what happens is that they're just posting the same exact content everywhere, which is lazy, not realizing that all these different platforms, the the algorithms of them, and let me replace that word with algorithm. Let me replace that algorithm word. Anytime you hear the word algorithm, ball that word up. Go to the nearest trash can, holler Kobe, and shoot it into the can and replace it with people because the algorithm simply just serves what people want to do. And every single one of these platforms, the consumer consumes the content differently. But so many people think that they're just going to post the same short form piece of content everywhere. So they'll post the same thing on IG, then they'll post the same thing on TikTok, then they'll post the same thing on X, and then they'll post the same thing on YouTube Shorts, and then they wonder why nothing's working for them. But the consumer on each one of those platforms is consuming that content with a different mind, and the nature and the environment of each platform is different. But if people are buying informational, transformational digital products because those are the only digital products that sell, think about this. Where does everybody go for information? They all come to YouTube, period. YouTube is the biggest streaming platform on the planet. It's bigger than everything. Amazon Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, Amazon's bigger. And it's the second biggest search engine because Google, which is the biggest search engine, owns YouTube. And even people that want to learn how to grow on Instagram, they don't go on Instagram to learn that. Where do they go? They go to YouTube. People that want to grow on TikTok, they don't go on TikTok to learn how to grow on TikTok. They go on YouTube and they type in how to grow on TikTok. Same as that thing with X and literally the same as that thing with YouTube Shorts. People go on watch long form YouTube videos on how to get better at YouTube Shorts. YouTube trumps all. And this is also coming from somebody who used to run Facebook ads. And the most amount of money that I spent on ads in a single month is a little over $100,000. Well, for my Microniche YouTube channel, just last month, I got about $72,000 worth of free promotion from YouTube. I would have had to spend about 72K for the same amount of impressions and eyeballs than I would have gotten from Facebook ads. It's insane. But it's because I'm thinking like a contentpreneur. And I realize from past experiences and past failures as well as all of the people that I've helped in my community, attempting to get the most amount of views possible is not the way to do it. It's hard to do and it's stressful to do, and you end up staying in the content creation hamster wheel. And If you're just thinking of AdSense as a business or a way to make money, that's not the way because you have to get a lot of views in order to make any money from AdSense. So a lot of people don't realize that AdSense, people pay for ads. It's called CPM, cost per mil. Mil is just a fancy word for 1,000, right? So many people's CPMs fluctuate. And a lot of people that are content creators in different niches, they have very low CPM. So you have to get a lot of views in order to make any money. And then if you do happen to get a lot of views, well, guess what'll happen? Somebody that actually does have a business and somebody that actually does have an offer will pay that content creator to get in front of their business. And then the content creator is like, oh, wow, I just got a brand partnership. Instead, why don't you just come up with an offer for your own audience? And everybody has different CPMs. And since everybody has a different CPM, some people's are lower, some people's are higher, your money's always going to fluctuate. And somebody like myself, I have a decent CPM. My CPM is higher than typical people that make content. My CPM is somewhere around a $40 CPM, but that's because I make business content. So just think about the ads that you even see on this video that you're watching right now that you probably skip through, right? It's probably a whole bunch of make money online ads and stuff like that because those advertisers are willing to pay more to get in front of my audience than they would be to get in front of somebody's audience that is sitting there uh, making ASMR content or something like that, right? But even with that ad thing, you skip through all those ads. Why? Because you don't know them, you don't like them, and you don't trust them. We're living in the trust economy right now, and people buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. And that trust comes from YouTube. That trust comes from implementing what I call the binge and buy effect. To whereas you only make content around the one problem that you solve for that one specific person in the marketplace. To whereas the algorithm now knows who you make your content for, so they will place you in front of that person. To whereas they'll watch video after video after video after video from you, the binge part, and then once they start to know you, which is discovery, they'll start to like you during the binge effect, and then after they've watched a certain amount of your content, they'll start to trust you. Then they actually buy. But it comes from thinking like a contentpreneur, not a content creator, and implementing a framework and a system for yourself. And system stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money around a micro niche YouTube channel so you can actually make more while working less because this system is going to be working for you 24/7, 365 because you're not able to work 24/7, 365. And you get your time back. And that's how you can actually make more while working less. So go ahead and check out this video right here for a step-by-step process to turn your micro niche YouTube channel into a system saving yourself time, energy, and money.